In the year 635 AD, a small caravan arrived at the bustling city of Chang'an, the vibrant capital of the Tang Dynasty. This city was the heart of one of the most powerful empires in the ancient world, a hub of trade, culture, and intellectual exchange. Among the travelers was Alopen, a Christian missionary from the Persian Empire, representing a religious tradition that had traveled thousands of miles across the Silk Road. What Alopen brought with him was not just a new faith, but an idea, one that had already traversed continents, shaped cultures, and challenged traditions. This faith, known as Nestorian Christianity, would go on to find a unique place in Chinese history. But who were these Nestorian Christians? How did they come to Tang China? And what impact did they have on the rich tapestry of Chinese culture? Before we get started, make sure to subscribe to the History and Curiosities channel and hit that notification bell so you never miss a video. Now, we'll uncover the fascinating story of the first Christians in China, a tale of theological innovation, cultural adaptation, and the enduring quest to find common ground in a world of differences. The Nestorian Christianity emerged out of one of the most significant theological debates in early Christian history. In 431 AD, at the Council of Ephesus, a rift developed between Nestorius, the Patriarch of Constantinople, and the Roman Church over the nature of Christ. Nestorius argued that Christ had two distinct natures, divine and human, and that these should be understood as separate rather than unified in a single person. This belief was condemned as heretical by the Roman Church, leading to the excommunication of Nestorius and the establishment of a separate Christian tradition that came to be known as the Church of the East, or the Nestorian Church. Driven out of the Roman Empire, the Nestorians found refuge in the Persian Sasanian Empire. The Sasanian rulers, although Zoroastrian, tolerated the Nestorians as a counterweight to their Byzantine rivals. Over the next few centuries, Nestorian Christianity flourished in Persia, developing a reputation for its intellectual rigor, missionary zeal, and adaptability to different cultures. By the 6th century, Nestorian missionaries had established communities as far afield as Arabia, Central Asia, India, and even Mongolia. Their adaptability and openness to syncretism allowed them to engage with a wide range of cultures, often reinterpreting Christian theology in ways that resonated with local philosophical and religious traditions. This adaptability would become their most valuable asset when they entered China. In 635 AD, Alopen, a Nestorian monk, arrived in Chang'an, the capital of the Tang Dynasty. He was likely part of a diplomatic mission from the Persian Empire, but his primary goal was to introduce Christianity to the Chinese people. At the time, the Tang Dynasty was a cosmopolitan empire that prided itself on openness to foreign cultures and religions. Emperor Taizong, the ruler at the time, was an enlightened and pragmatic leader who encouraged the exchange of ideas from across the known world. He was particularly interested in learning from foreign religions and philosophies, believing that they could contribute to the moral and intellectual enrichment of his empire. Historical records, most notably the Nestorian stele erected in 781 AD, described how Alopen presented Christian texts to the Tang court. Recognizing the potential value of this new religion, Emperor Taizong ordered the texts to be translated into Chinese. The court scholars worked with Alopen to render Christian theology in terms understandable to a Chinese audience, using language and concepts familiar from Confucianism, Taoism, and Buddhism. In 638 AD, Emperor Taizong issued an imperial edict formally recognizing Christianity, referred to in Chinese as the religion of light. He allowed Alopen to establish a church in Chang'an, laying the foundation for Christianity's presence in China. The Nestorians' ability to adapt their teachings to local traditions was key to their success in Tang China. To understand how they achieved this, we must examine the Nestorian stele, one of the most important artifacts from this period. The Nestorian stele, inscribed in both Chinese and Syriac, recounts the arrival of Christianity in China and its integration into Tang society. It describes God as the illustrious and true Lord, a phrase that echoes Confucian ideals of moral authority. The creation of the universe is explained using concepts from Taoist cosmology, emphasizing harmony and the balance of forces. The stele also highlights Christian practices, such as baptism, communal living, and worship. These practices were framed in ways that resonated with Chinese values. For example, baptism was described as a ritual of purification, aligning with Taoist and Buddhist practices of cleansing and renewal. The communal lifestyle of the Nestorian Christians was presented as an embodiment of Confucian ideals of harmony and mutual respect. By presenting their faith as compatible with Chinese traditions, the Nestorians were able to gain the trust and respect of the Tang elite. Their teachings appealed not only to those seeking spiritual fulfillment, but also to those interested in ethical governance and social harmony. Under the Tang Dynasty, Nestorian Christianity flourished, particularly in major cities along the Silk Road. Churches were established in Chang'an, Luoyang, and other trade hubs, serving as centers of worship, education, and cultural exchange. The Nestorians also contributed to the intellectual and cultural life of Tang China. They introduced Western medical practices, astronomical knowledge, and philosophical ideas, enriching the already vibrant intellectual landscape of the Tang court. One notable aspect of Nestorian Christianity in China was its art and architecture. Churches built during this period often featured a blend of Middle Eastern and Chinese styles, reflecting the fusion of cultures. Artistic depictions of Christian themes were adapted to Chinese aesthetic sensibilities, creating a unique visual language that bridged East and West. Although the initial presence of Nestorian Christianity in China waned after the fall of the Tang Dynasty, its impact can still be felt today. The story of Alopen and the Nestorian Christians serves as a powerful reminder of the interconnectedness of human history and the ways in which different cultures can learn from and enrich one another. The journey of Nestorian Christianity to Tang China is more than just a historical curiosity. It is a story of cultural exchange, adaptation, and the human desire to connect across boundaries. It reminds us that history is not just a series of isolated events, but a web of interactions that shape the world we live in today. Thank you for joining us on this journey through history. If you enjoyed this story, please like, share, and subscribe for more explorations of the past. Let us know in the comments what other fascinating historical topics you'd like us to cover. See you in the next video.